What is going on, guys? It is your boy Seso here, bringing guys in a Photoshop / C4D tutorial here today, which means 3D manipulation, all that cool stuff. Right off the bat, I want to say thank you guys so much for even being interested in 3D manipulation, because I've seen in my past video that it wasn't even related to 3D, it was 2D, and then my my actual manipulation tutorial, like the forest. You guys have been really enjoying it, and you guys really want more, and I'm like, yo, I'll try. Like, I'm not like a manipulator, and I really appreciate the fact that you guys are finding it, you know, that it looks really good or really sick or really entertaining, because I'm very happy about that, because I get to learn it now alongside with you guys. I was never comfortable with manipulation, so it's me just learning with you guys, and that's pretty much the whole, you know, portion of today's video. It's just basically making a really believable environment that the text is basically underwater. And we have like 2 different scenes actually put together. The island and the little water line, it's actually called. And I put a little shark here. This palm tree that's poorly cut out, I understand, but it's just, you know, quick stuff. Some random birds that I put in. And then just, yeah, the overall, just the way the text looks, the way, I just want to make sure that you guys understand that my understanding of making a manipulation, that's a really hard word to say after saying any other word, is just making the environment believable. So I hope I captured that, you know, pretty well. I'm still learning, like I said, but I appreciate the fact that you guys are freaking loving the videos. Like, it's all freaking awesome. I'm also on some break, or my last semester was today, technically. You know, last semester was this week. I don't know how many of you guys are on summer break, but let me know in the comment section below when you go on, how many days left. I'm pretty sure I see a lot of 14 days left on Twitter for all, like, the New York people and stuff like that. So I can't wait just to see what happens, all that crazy stuff. I'm be doing a lot of stuff this summer, this semester off, you know. Alright, we're done talking. So as you can see, I already told you guys there's 2 different scenes. Text is done, palm tree, cool little birds. And I will have all the stocks that I use in this video in the description down below. So the water line is actually called the ocean water line. Yes, I knew what that was called. I actually typed it in immediately and got this photo. The birds, random ass birds. Just a nice cool little island picture. And then a palm tree. So yeah, it's poorly cut out, I understand, but it was just a really quick thing I wanted to add in, just because I wanted to show a little bit more than just, you know, whatever, because that's that palm tree right here that kind of like blends in over here. So I think it did a pretty good job of picking out the palm tree. Not cutting it out though. So we're gonna begin C4D at first, and pretty much you already have this Lightroom if you downloaded it from this video over here. The actual first manipulation tutorial, you get the same exact Lightroom that I'm using as well. I have a regular, it's just a regular simple material. It's just used with the, you know, this color correction, like I guess like a soft blue. Diffusion, reflection with 9 blurriness to make sure that my my UV map is actually okay and it doesn't show the exact environment that I'm using. And then specular is still on, of course. So that's the material that I'm going to be using just for the base material. No crazy materials being used in this tutorial. And I will probably change the color of the material within Photoshop, and that's how I did it over here as well. So okay, well that's being all done and said, we can go ahead and show you guys the text. So I think the text is the most important thing, in my opinion, which is all located in the Mo text area right here. And the font that I'm using is the same font that I like to use so much that I'm probably going to overkill, and I need to find a new one soon, is Kenyan Coffee. And we're just going to type in the words SESOHQ. And pretty much this is how we're going to do it. So for me, when I think of, by the way, I'm going to set this up with caps, and I'm going to put my start and end caps to fillet, just like so. And then when I'm putting both on fillet, I'm going to change the radius and the steps for all 4 of these to, I'll just say 2. And that will give me like a nice little flat, but very, I guess, you know, nice looking curves to the edges. And we're going to make sure we put this to the middle. That way we have it in the middle here. And we're going to make sure the depth is about like 70 maybe. That's not bad. Let's just say like 100. It's not bad. I just want it pretty thick though, to be honest. Yeah, that should be okay. Alright, so to make this look believable, since this is going to be in water, right? We're going to make this text look like it's in water. And the thing we're going to have to be using, I believe, will most likely be like melt is a really good one to use to like get that really cool watery feel. I'll show you guys how to use that. Melt, maybe bulge for some things, because like, you know, when you see like, if you ever press down like a very heavy object that's like floatable or like hollow inside, it floats, right? So like any like little plastic, you know, ball or whatever, and like floats back up. So you gotta like, you're trying to like capture that. You want to try your best to like capture the fact that there's gonna be, you know, a very odd distortion. You're gonna be like one letter's gonna be a little farther apart than others. like I have this one over here. This Q is a little up and further apart than all the other letters. I want to try to have these two like bang into each other. This is pretty far ahead. This is pretty far back. And, you know, this actually has a bulge in it as well, so which means it's like, I guess it's like curving like inward like this. And it's just very cool. So I feel like using those distortions will help it out a lot more than just having like a straight text like this and letting it rock that way. I don't think it'll work very good, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and go to the mode text here after we type in our letters. And I'm going to go ahead and just start this off with putting a melt on this. The way this works is I'm going to put the distorter right below the mode text here. And the strength will be default at 25. I'm going to put this back up. And like already right here, you can see like that cool little, I guess that little oceany feel. It's like a very, you know, unique little like, I guess, wavy kind of like motion. You can see what it looks like, right? Putting the radius will actually like, you know, fix what you kind of want. If you want it too much or you don't want as much and you want just a little bit of like a curvature to it. However, though, I do want my letters to also not be straight up, straight ahead. So this melt is just like a very quick little default thing just to help me get started. So what I'm going to do with this mode text is I'm going to break it apart into like having my own individual letters as the letter or as the word is, you know, spelled out. So all I have to do is either right click on the mode text that I've just spelled out my words, right? And then do make editable, which is right here, or just press C on my keyboard and it will automatically do that. And with that being said, the melt will also be perfectly fine. It'll be untouched, and you don't have to worry about that either. So pretty much I'm just going to go to the S here. I'm just going to figure this kind of stuff out, right? And like I said before, I'm going to have different letters and different, you know, positions. So I'm going to have the E maybe a little farther back. Since it is going to be farther back, it should be a little smaller maybe. I'm just like thinking in the environment that I'm actually going to put this in. So this is like that cool little ocean, you know, line top here. So we're just going to figure, just move things around. Maybe we can even have that almost floating behind the E. That's how I'm thinking right now. I was just going to think like how I'm going to have this. Maybe like have it a little bit farther up. But I also have to make sure that if I'm putting this farther up, this is pretty far from my baseline where all the other letters are located. So I'm actually going to have to figure out if I want this E to be underwater. A lot of the other letters are going to be underwater pretty far. So I'm going to make sure I like, you know, think about that as well. Let's just like push this one like almost like tipping this way. We'll have the O like hitting the E, the H again. Something like that. Maybe we'll have the H a little farther back, right? And then we'll have this Q pretty far to the right a little bit, you know, kind of escaping the letters. And we'll just have it almost like facing that way. That's not bad. And I want to have them pretty spacious, though. I don't want to have them too close together. So I'm going to actually move these three letters pretty far. We'll move the S a little farther away as well. We'll move this pretty close to the... there we go. I think I like that. So pretty much, I just wanted to give it the feel of it being in water. So I have this one pretty, like, you know, I guess tipping back and forth, like going toward this way, right? And then we have the E pretty far back. Although I think the positioning of the E is not the greatest. I can try to fix it a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. This S over here is, you know, pointed more toward us, you know. So it's hard to explain because, like, in my head, it's just making all, like, a whole bunch of sense. But I hope you guys understand that I'm just basically rotating the letters, pushing them farther back in a way where I feel like if I put, like, some kind of toy that floats in water and try to give that impression, right? So, like I said, I use melt. What I did use as well on some individual letters were bulge. So this is right here. Also, I can use melt again if I want to. So I'll just try it really quickly. And to do this within the editable text, all you have to do is go to the letter that you want. So I want to put melt on this letter singly, and I'm gonna go ahead and just take the melt, put it right below the spline of the S, which is located right here. You can see the arrows pointing inward, and there we go. Now it has the effect applied to it. We just drag the strength down a little bit to give it less of the effect, and I kind of want it to do a little something like that right there, right? I don't want it to be like straight. I want it to be kind of like that. Okay, that's okay. So you're gonna be doing a lot of fine detail like this. So on the H, I'm gonna put like a cool little bulge in it, see what it looks like. You can find like your own if you want to see like what other things work. All the things work the same way. Just putting it below the spline or basically below the group would work out pretty well. It will look pretty funny, but I guess that'll work too. So there's nothing really crazy going on. This is like probably the quickest part, or even the most important part in my opinion, just because you wanted to make it look, like I said, believable. I'm just gonna put this over everything and put it on cubic and click the little seamless blocks here. So I can do a lot more really if I want to, like, you know, I can get really into it and put, like, you know, more than just bulge or melt. I can do something else. Like if it works, I will test it out. But you know, the things I've seen that work the most is, like I said, melt and bulge. Twist is a little bit too much because there's really no reason to twist unless you want to put like your own, I guess, like character inside the banner. Otherwise, I'm trying to keep it like environment friendly or like environment realistic or whatever. I'm pretty sure those are the only two you're going to be using really. Like I said, you might find one that you're going to be using or something like that. So this is pretty much it. Very simple stuff here, right? So I'm going to bring this into Photoshop, and that's where we're going to get more of the complicated, just like, you know, the odd, like how do you actually make it look like it's underwater, etc., and make it look all cool and freaking nice, right? So we're going to go into Photoshop. So the render settings that I actually have, if you wanted to know, it's just going to be saved under, make sure alpha channel is selected, that way that your background is actually rendered out with a seamless or a transparent background, and it's going to be on PNG format. My options are pretty much, you know, the same. You can put it on QuickTime PNG, right? You can also do that. And if you press options, you can get like the best quality. Make sure you drop down, put best if you want to do that as well. Otherwise, PNG is pretty fine, in my opinion. And then desktop, it'll be in the / I'll just save it as or backslash. Which one's back? Where's backslash? It's right there. I'll just save it as tutorial ocean thing, right? Whatever. And so pretty much I have ambient occlusion and global illumination on as well as sharpen filter. And maybe I can put object glow as well if I really want to, but it really doesn't really matter because I don't have an object glow on this material. And I really don't want the text to really glow that much anyway, unless I do it in Photoshop. And so pretty much that's it. I'm going to render it out just like pressing this little button. Actually, someone actually asked that, which is fine. This is right here. It's the render to picture viewer, and you just click on it, and you can see that all the renders I've already done. But basically, you see it start rendering out, and it'll just take a little bit, you know, not too long at all. So yeah, I'll see you guys in Photoshop. And yeah, we'll see you guys there. Alright guys, so the render's pretty much done. As you can see, the material is really, really nice. It comes out really well with the HDRI that we have as the sky environment, right? And it looks really nice with the, like, nice little reflection. So it'll help out to make it look more, not like super realistic, but like, you know, a little bit more better in the environment of just not having like a flat, like matte kind of texture on like something like this, on the environment like this, wouldn't probably look as right because it won't have any reflection and that cool little gloss to it. So in my opinion, having this nice little material worked out pretty gosh darn well. And so pretty much, I already have it inside Photoshop. It's located right here, as you can see. And we're gonna make this look as cool as possible. And like I already told you as well, the stocks I'm gonna be using are already in like the description down below. And we're gonna start off with using this little underwater ocean line view right here. So pretty much, oh, it looks pretty gosh darn damn good right there. We're gonna put that below that though, and this is gonna be the harder part, right? This is gonna be the part where it's just gonna be like very tedious. It's not really that too much tedious because the only thing I feel like it's going underwater, unless you want to put like something like a beach ball or I don't really know why, but like a tree coming out of the water wouldn't really make too much sense. But like if you want to, you could. But the only thing that's really going underwater in my my example here is gonna be the text really, and like I did put a shark, but that's whatever, right? So what they did was really, really easy. As you can see, I'm placing my text. I'm going to actually see if I want to put this a little further down. Because I'm thinking this sky is going to be going away for sure. I'm going to be penciling out this this little ocean stuff right here. This like the ocean line right here. I'm going to be penciling that out. So I'm going to think how much space I want for the background and the foreground, or the foreground and the background for like the little island. So pretty much, I will think that this is a pretty good alignment for the picture. It's perfectly fine. But as for the text, this is where you're going to be seeing, like, to yourself, how much do I want underwater, and if you do have it where you have, like, letters really far up, that's what I mean. Like, if you had it too far up from the baseline, like this E's from, like, right here, this S is, like, right here, so pretty much it's, like, not too far at all, but if this E was, like, up here, then you have to drag super far down, and you have, like, the entire, like, half of the letter, like, underwater, and to be honest, I feel like if you want to have something underwater, and for like this little example here, I feel like having just just a little bit, right? So it's like floating, it's like hovering over the water. So that's the illusion that I want to give. So pretty much to make this look as good as possible, we're going to take the pen tool here, and we're going to say I like it right here. I want to have this S, like basically all this throughout this line, all this is going to be underwater. So to make sure this is looks as good as possible, we're going to go ahead and just make a duplicate of this. This is going to be our text. And we're going to go ahead and just take the pen tool, which is also the shortcut P on your keyboard, just like so. It's located right here. And we're just going to take it and try to do this as perfect as possible. I don't have to be like ridiculously perfect, but since water is very fluent, you won't find yourself actually using too many like points. It'll be mostly using like really nice curves into other curves, so I'm not going to actually press Alt, right, how I usually probably do from like doing something very, very, very precise, where it's like very pointy and stuff. I will not click Alt basically throughout this entire thing. I'm just going to be leaving all the curves and try to like fix them along the way. And here's another curve here. And luckily it's like an ocean line, right? There's not too much waves or something going on, so it's not too difficult. And we're going to go ahead and finish it off with a curve here. And that'll do it for me there. So pretty much, I didn't have to go all the way out, but I just did just because. And pretty much, what I have here inside this area is basically cutting out my text. I'm not cutting out the water, I'm cutting out my text. So I'm going to put my opacity back up, and I'm just going to right-click, make selection, and if I press M on my keyboard or go to the rectangle marquee tool selection right here, this will allow me to give the option when I right-click to layer via cut, but I have to make sure that this is rasterized. And we're going to layer via cut now on this little text layer, and now we have basically two separate things. So you can have this looking like, I don't want it to look like this, because you know, if you see you're at a point of view where you're actually looking toward, I guess like almost like your head is like coming out of the water, right? So you'd obviously be able to see the text underwater, so that's why I'm actually having it cut out. And I'm actually going to be using this cutout. I'm not going to actually like, you know, just leave it alone, as I already saw in my example, but I'm just saying, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this layer and it's going to bring this to linear light. Now this works for me just because the stock that I'm using, the image that I'm using, but whatever ocean line you use, you probably won't be able to use linear light. Something like soft shadow or soft light will work probably just as well. But for me, linear light's working out, and I'm just going to lower my opacity down, just like so. Okay. Huh. If I just zoom this out all the way. Alright, so that's pretty good. So pretty much now you can see, like, from the point of view that I'm looking at, it looks like the text is still underwater. Looks all good. So now we gotta figure out how to make it look just amazing, right? So the whole point of this is where it gets difficult. This is where it gets tedious. This is where it gets, like, you know, creative thinking. So pretty much I'm gonna show you guys little lighting effects and overall just how I cut out the water and how I'm gonna put the background in. It's very, very simple stuff, and it looks really good at the end. So what I want to do right away, kind of, is trying to give myself a little bit more, I guess depth, or really just like the feeling of having my text actually be sinking in. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to take my top part of the text, I'm going to use my arrow keys, and it's just going to go, I'm just going to click down twice, just to give it that little bit of, you can see like little, kind of like a shadow here. If I just go back up, right, it's just regular. Now if I click down twice, you have a little bit of a shadow, and for me that works well, and it just really depends, right? But for me as well, I'm not liking the text of the color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just press Control U, which brings up the hue and saturation, right? It's a very simple, quick little tool. If you press Control U on a layer, something like this, I'm going to press Colorize. And this won't work for everything, right? I just didn't want to actually put color on my text right away, because like I know I can do it like this. But if I just put my saturation up and I just change my hue, I can figure out a color that I want to use, and I can stick with it throughout the entire way, or I can change it by just pressing Control U again. Same thing with like the vibrance and stuff. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. Alright, so pretty much we have like the hardest part set down. It wasn't very hard either. So pretty much I'm going to make a new layer, and this is just random lighting effects I'm going to be doing right quick. I'm going to use a soft brush. I'm going to be using a pretty darkish blue, but kind of like a dull darkish blue. And we're just going to put a little bit of light and not make it so flat. And I'm just going to change this mode to linear dodge add. And I don't like it up top here, so I'm going to erase it. I'll put it maybe like here, or like, you know, somewhere here, just to give it more light in some areas. Alright, that's pretty good. So pretty much now, it's just really what I want to do. So right now, I'm just going to cut out the actual, the ocean line. I'm actually going to put in my what do you call it? The island? Jeez, I don't know why I just blanked out. So pretty much, take the pen tool here. We're going to go back at this ocean line and try to give it as good as a, you know, pen tooling out as possible. Now for me, I'm not really adding too much to this, but if it was you, I feel like if you're gonna do for like a client or yourself or whatever, I would do a lot of stuff in the water. just to like put, you know, you just, I guess, have fun with it. Manipulations are supposed to be projects that probably take a lot longer than your normal, like, really regular 2D work, or maybe not as long, or as, like, much time or effort or whatever, but I just feel like if you give, like, the time into, like, making stuff cool in the water, like putting, like, reefs or something, like coral, more fish, the way you look for stuff for manipulation that I've been finding out, it's just been, like, typing in if I wanted a shark, and I didn't want to cut the shark out, I just type in, like, shark stock, and you get some really cool free stocks if you want to, or you can get the ones that are purchasable. Either way, that's how I think of it when I think of how I want to have, like, I guess, project files, really. I just look up stocks. That's what I type in. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and make a duplicate of this just in case, and we're going to rasterize this layer. That way I can right-click, make selection, and then layer via cut with the M marquee tool selected, and we're just going to press layer via cut. And now we're just going to have the ocean line on its own. Now below the ocean line, I want to have the island. So I'm going to go to the island here. And we're going to drag this in. And since I already have water, I do not want to have this water here because it won't be the same view. But if we have like the island here, I'm actually going to shrink this down a little bit. Put it like to there. We have it here. This still looks pretty realistic. I don't want that water showing either. There we go. Looks pretty good. Let's make it a little bit more bigger then. We'll just go back. I don't know. Was this a good size? I don't really know. Okay, I want just a little smaller. Just to hide the water and also have the trees pretty high as well on the image. Okay, that's not bad. If I really want to, I can move this water down alongside with the text here. I wanted more action, right, with like the background here. There we go. That works for me. All right. So pretty much now it's just up. Nah, this is too low. Sorry. There we go. All right. So really quickly though, I'm actually just gonna add like a quick, very simple white hit on the top, just like this, just to see what I'm working with here. All right. Right. So I can, at this moment, I can start adding like a little bit more color correction maybe. So brightness and contrast, we'll just add a brightness and contrast here. And we'll go ahead and maybe add a cool little curve. Really cool little tip, you haven't seen me ever do it before. If you change your RGB to blue, and now this is if you're looking for like a cool vintage look, or I don't know, I think of it like as a cool little like a Breaking Bad kind of like color scheme to it. If we just like try to figure out just a little bit more like a light bluish green. It's going to give you that cool little tint to it. I don't know if you guys like this, but for me it gives it like a cool little summer feel. And I don't want to have it too vibrant, or too much of this. I'll have it like set to like 70 or 75 or so, not too much. And with that brightness and contrast, I'll probably just add a regular curve without actually changing it to blue. I'm just going to put it on a nice little RGB here, and I'm just trying to set things going here. And I should bring this down a little bit. Alright, I'm down for that. Alright, so I'm just going to add the birds in really quickly. Why not, right? Add some of these birds in. And I'm just going to use the magic wand tool just to cut them out. I know, not the best way to do it, but I'm just doing it for tutorial purposes. I would probably pen tool it out. Would I? I don't know. It's a pretty good background. I use the magic wand tool, but here we go. I don't want to have birds in the water, so I'm just going to take these out with the pen tool here. And we're going to go ahead and make selection, then press delete on our keyboard. And then as for the bird's shadows, I'm just going to use the drop shadow tool right here and just take my size. I'll put the size down for a second. I want the birds to come at an angle like this, right, from like this way to this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my distance out a little bit. And we're going to have our size now bringed up. That way it actually gives it the blur that we're looking for. And I'll say that's pretty good. The opacity is just going to lower down just a little bit. You don't want to blur it too much. Shadows are not like distorted to the fact that they just look like regular circles below you. It doesn't look like that. You want to actually make it sure it keeps its shape. Things outside here though wouldn't really work out for the little drop shadow that I have here. So I'm actually going to cut these birds out here. Just taking the pen tool, cutting these birds out on the top that don't have anything to reflect on for the drop shadow. And I'm going to go ahead and just take these out of the same little layer here. So using the rectangle marquee tool and then layer via cutting. I was going to take those and just take them, take the drop shadow off. So with that being done, gives us a nice little bird's view, right? Got this little bird here. For the little, I guess this little palm tree, what I did was I just took this and just put it below or behind my text here. Not the best cutout either, I know that, but I'm just showing you guys. I wanted this below the text, so like right here. Pretty much, I'm just gonna tilt it this way a little bit. And what I did was I just get close to this little waterline here and just put anything I want. Make sure it's below. If I kind of, what if I have this thing floating, right? I don't know. Let's see what it looks like. I'll just try it. Why not? Put this on cut, and then we'll throw this on linear dodge or linear light here, and we're just gonna see what it looks like. If it looks like it's trying to it's being underwater. Looks kind of silly. I don't know, and it's also interfering with this S. So I'm gonna do, if I really wanted to, try to figure this out, I would just take this, this text here. Which one is it? Below this one? It's this one. Yes, it is. All right, I'm just gonna basically take this right here, this layer, what I just cut it out for the little bottom of the palm tree, and I'll just cut it out with delete on the keyboard just to put it behind the text, right? And I can have a floating tree if I wanted to. I can put another one over here of a different type of tree, or I can just take the tree and just leave it as a floating thing in the background with on the island if I wanted to. I'm just gonna keep it like this for now. Why not? And really, all we're missing really is just having random light just to make the environment just look good. I guess the banner look good. So I'm just gonna see what a little bit of green looks like with linear dodge add, right? Just a little bit of color. I don't want too much in the water actually. So nothing crazy in the water, but maybe in the sky here. Right, and then maybe even adding another white little brush hit on the top, just to close everything together. And then with that at the end, we can put another brightness and contrast, and really just going with it, and then figuring out what we like the most. Okay, I'm down. All right, so that's pretty much it, basically. I know that this tutorial is more like me just thinking about something. It's just, it wasn't really me this is what you gotta do, this is what you gotta do. It's just me having fun, seeing what I could do. And then with that being said, I hope you guys understood and learned some things. Right here, this is messed up. I noticed it. For some reason, it got moved up. Don't know when, but it did. Like that. There we go. Alright, so yeah, so what I can also do if I actually want to get more into it, I can put light on the text with a clipping mask to it. But all this kind of stuff is it's really up to you guys what you want to do at this moment. Putting a little light on the top, I'll say this is the light source, right? And let's put it on overlay. I have a nice little beaming light on the top. Some more stuff. What I can do as well maybe is put a little bit of black maybe in the water. What I mean by that is zooming in over here, and since I feel if I, if you were having this at an angle, right? If I put my rules on really quickly, this is at an angle. I feel this, part of the O will be casting a shadow on the water a little bit. So just having a little black over here, right? And then try to make it as perfect as possible. And the way I'm actually shrinking this circle and the brush, or the brush and the eraser, is holding Control and Alt, and then right-clicking and moving my mouse left and right is how I did that. And pretty much just putting a little bit of black in the water here, maybe. All the minor details is what kind of really makes a really, really dope design. So we'll see what that looks like. Putting on maybe just lower the opacity, not even putting on anything. I don't know. Let's see, what does it look like? I don't know, something like that. Just a really little detail. If you put as much as shadowing detail as you could. For me right here, I just need more shadows on the text itself. On this area right here, maybe here. The shadows here are pretty good. Maybe here as well. Oops. But only on the text is what I want it on. And then just putting it on, not overlay. Yeah, not overlay. Just keep it on normal. Lower the opacity down a little bit. I just want deeper shadows. The deeper your shadows, the cooler they are. The more the more you think about it, just the way that it just comes out really awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So yeah, really, all the stuff that I use in this tutorial will be in the description down below. And I really do want to know when do you guys actually go on break? Just so I know when to stream, do port reviews and all that cool stuff like that. Please don't forget to follow me on Twitter at SesoHQ. Do not forget to check my Sellfy, sellfy.com/SesoHQ for any pre-mix and packs as low as $5. As I said before, the Lightroom that I'm actually using in this video is under the other video that I did. The other 3D manipulation that I did was the forest one. You can find this this little Lightroom here, including the HDRI and the sky environment already set up for you, and the materials, all in that other video's description. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. all that cool stuff. Like, I know I already said it, like, I'm not the greatest manipulator, but, you know, given time or whatever, and just, like, having fun with it, you can get just really freaking nice. I took a little more time on this one, put a little more stuff in this one, worked on the color correction a little bit more. I went into, like, you know, figuring out colors with using color balance, seeing if I want more blues or greens in certain areas, right? I did that. I didn't really use that in this tutorial, but you can do stuff like that. It's just the more you do, the better it looks, in my opinion. And this one came out really, really nice because I had more time. I took more time on it. I did more fixes and stuff like that. So I really hope you guys enjoyed, right? And if you guys want to keep doing manipulations, please leave a like. Let's just go for 300 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, you might as well freaking like the video. I mean, come on, honestly. And if you guys want more manipulations, please let me know any other theme you guys want me to do. I've done underwater. I've basically done in the forest. Tell me what else you want to see me do. I will probably learn it. I will teach it. And I will try my hardest to actually, like, show you guys, you know, what I can do with it, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for 35.5k subscribers, or 40. Nope, it's 53.5. I don't know what I was looking at. Maybe I have dyslexia. Who knows? Anyways, thank you guys so much. Talk to you guys later. Let's switch you out. Peace.